Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 17 of What If Naruto Was Too Advanced for His Age. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this stuff with your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode over on Anime King 3 of What If Naruto Had Cosmic Energy, and enjoy that guys. And I also post a brand new episode on this channel of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Lost Everything, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And also over on Anime King, I posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was the Neglected Legendary Uzumaki, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy as well guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And yes, you heard that correctly, I indeed have 3 channels. Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if every single day, so go ahead and become a part of the family guys. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin this, shall we? So, the last part we left off, the Tsuchikage was meeting with the leader of the Sun, the 4th Kazekage, but unknown to the man, under that disguise was none other than Orochimaru himself, as Orochimaru was just playing both of the villages. As the man had planned out everything perfectly, using the hatred that only he had for Minato, to use it against Konoha, along with controlling the Sun. Things was going perfectly. They need to hurt Minato in a way first though. By killing his son, they could probably shake him up a lot, as Naruto has been a thorn in the Hidden Stone side recently. So with that, they had sent their ninjas, their assassination ninjas, 5 of them, the best of the best that the Hidden Stone had. They were all Jonins, elite Jonins, to assassinate Naruto as they arrived towards the position where Naruto was, as he was taking some time off with Yujiro, given the upcoming events with Chunin exams, as they were given time to relax until everything began. The both of them were attacked, but they had sensed it coming, as they went outside and started the battle. As the 5 ninjas, the elites, were powerful, but Naruto was able to use Fenrir, and not to mention his abilities in Twine, as a wolf summon came over and tore 2 of the shinobis to pieces. Both him and Yujiro then took care of the others. They made their way back to Konoha after the Envoy team came, as they report all of this to Minato. Preparations were already ready, as Minato was ready for the snake. He wants to get rid of him once and for all, so he can stop all this nonsense. But they still didn't know which backing of villages Orochimaru had behind him. As for the remaining time, Naruto trained with Zabuza. As he was training, Zabuza realized his speed and his strength increased. The kid was getting truly powerful. As the time went by, the Chunin exams finally start up, as it was finally time. All the teams made their way, including Team 7. Sai, Sasuke and Sakura made their way. As in the forest, someone was lurking. It was none other than Orochimaru under a disguise, as Sasuke and his team was attacked, as he didn't know how this Grasping Witch knew his name. Yet she did, and she was hell-bent on getting to him, something that Sasuke wouldn't allow. But she had this wicked smirk on her face that put Sasuke on nerve, as he was in a lot of trouble he didn't even know it, as she licked her lips quite devilishly, ready to come after him. So yeah guys, those basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place objective for yourself. So what is to begin this new episode? That was some impressive fighting, Sasuke-kun. Your clan must be proud of the impressive shinobi that you turned out to be. The voice came from all directions, as Sasuke felt like he was the one being hunted. The problem was this guy knew him, and that wasn't a good thing. Who are you? Show your face, you coward, Sasuke shouted out. A shadow appeared on top of a tree a few feet away from him. It was a kunoichi from the grass with long black hair. Once again, Sasuke says he stepped forward. Who are you? And how do you know my name? The woman licked her lips, looking at Sasuke with a keen eye like he was some sort of prey, like she was about to pounce on him. As Sakura was on her knees shaking, Sai reached up and yanked out a few of her hair, making her snap back into reality as she turned to curse towards him. She was using a strange technique, and by doing that I managed to snap you out of it. That was all that Sai said. Sakura knew that she didn't have time to argue as she looked towards the grass kunoichi. Well, Sasuke, everyone know your famous clan, and everyone know your brother Itachi Uchiha. But from what I saw, it seemed like it won't take long before you two are on the same level. And what I want with you is nothing more than just test your skills. Wind style. Great wind breakthrough. The woman released a gust so powerful that it launched the team away and few trees were ripped right out of the solid ground itself. Sai was the first to flip as he landed on a thick branch that slammed into the ground. But he had to brace himself as a massive python came out of nowhere, bearing his fangs to eat him whole. As he leaped back and dodged a snake, disruptive strikes that ripped through the ground and tore trees apart. Sai's mind was on the woman, and Sasuke being the woman's target. He couldn't waste too much time with his snake. I have to protect the Uchiha like Danzo Sama ordered. As he pulled out his panel, as he drew a two-tailed dragon on his scroll. He focused and molded his chakra. This will take a bit. Ninja art. Great beast imitation jutsu. The massive 8 dragon came from the scroll aside, jumped right on top of it. Snake charged and swiftly went towards the ground. The dragon wing became sharp, like it was made of a strong, powerful, sturdy material, as it ripped right through the snake, killing the beast. As Sai, dragon dispersed as he landed on the ground, panted a bit from using so much chakra. As he quickly took a soldier pill, he rushed towards Sasuke's location, hoping that he didn't arrive too late. Oblivious to Sai fight, Sasuke was doing his best, as his lady was just toying with him. She was dodging all of his attacks like he was a simple child with a hot temper. As Sasuke was pissed off, as his Sharingan was not helping him. Sasuke could see her movements, but his body was too slow to keep up. Sasuke leaped back and threw massive windmill shurikens that wrapped the woman around. As ninja wire were attached to them, he yanked it as she was stuck to the tree as he brought it up towards his lips. Fire style. Dragon fire jutsu. The fire dragon hit her full force. The woman screamed as the temperature increased. Sasuke's chakra was depleted as he kept on pouring down the flames in the wire. This had to work. Sai was nowhere to be seen, and the utter amount of killing intent the woman just released ago knocked Sakura unconscious. Sasuke landed on a nearby tree trunk as he panted. He decided to rest a bit. He had got her head on. There was no way that she could have survived that. He then heard a different voice. A different voice. This one sounded different. It was filled with malice and a lot of bloodlust. It scared the living crap out of Sasuke. He saw the woman as she just crawled out of the ground itself. Her face was melting away, and there was another one underneath it with a reptilian eye. Very nice, Sasuke. Seems you're worthy of the gift I will give you. It's only fair though that I tell you my name. I'm Orochimaru. Sasuke's eyes widened as Orochimaru's neck elongated. But before he could bite Sasuke, the other genin charged towards him. But Sai was no match for Orochimaru, as Orochimaru whipped his neck around, slamming the side of his neck right into Sai, throwing him back, as his fangs elongated and bit Sasuke right into his neck. As Sasuke released a blood-curdling scream that echoed all the way through the forest of death. As Orochimaru removed his fangs from the boy's neck, he laughed as his plan worked. As Orochimaru substituted himself immediately, as a massive blade cleaved where his head once was. Next, a thick mist covered the entire area. In an instant, the group surrounded the area, as it was the Jonins. As Zabuza stood there in front of Orochimaru. Orochimaru, one of the Sanin and S-rank criminal of Konoha. You're under arrest for your crimes against the Leaf, said Zabuza. Normally, Zabuza wouldn't fight a man such as Orochimaru. He was strong, but he was not stupid. What he intended to do was fight him along with the Jonins, who had by now took position around Orochimaru. Orochimaru's eyes crinkled up before he laughed. Mamakai Zabuza, ex-member of 7 Ninja Swordsmen. No, member of this pathetic village. I don't have any intentions to fight you or any other of your Jonins. Oh, and tell the fort, do not stop the exams. Otherwise, I will burn this village down to the ground. As Orochimaru started to melt away into Earth, it was the Earth clone the entire time. As Zabuza knew that he did something to his kids though. After all, he wouldn't attack them for no reason. He walked over. You two take care of the Uchiha until he recovers and continue the exam. We will report to the Hokage what happened. Sai and Sakura nodded as Sai grabbed Sasuke as they moved off to a safe place. Sakura was confused though as she saw the strange mark on Sasuke's neck as Sai carried him. But she wondered what happened while she was unconscious. Time skip. After the end of the second phase, 60 managed to finish. Much to everyone's suspicions, the stone ninjas were stronger, more skilled. Well, it was because they weren't Genins in the first place. Not all of them were captured, but it was no concrete evidence. The stone had sent ninjas in to gather information on Konoha, and know that they were captured, a war was inevitable. Konoha could come up with the proposition that the stone came in to tamper with the Chunin exams, which they did. So the stone had no choice now but to attack. There were 6 teams there. 4 of them were from Konoha, 1 from the Sound and 1 from the San, as Minato was currently standing in front of them. Congratulations to everyone for passing the second phase. The exams are tough but nonetheless necessary to see if any of you are ready to be promoted. As Chunins, all of you will be performing gruesome and tough tasks in the name of your villages. So this test serves as guidance for your Kages to determine how each of you behave under stressful situations. Now since second phase is over, let's proceed with the third phase. Allow me, Hokage-sama, voice said. There are certain measures that must be taken care of before we could proceed to the third part. As Minato smiled and nodded, as a typhoon was formed inside. The wind increased to the point where the Genins had to cover their eyes as the typhoon died down. As Naruto Namikaze was standing there, along with a wolf at his side, the present was enough for a lot of them to gasp, seeing that they haven't seen Naruto Namikaze after his transformation. Ino, Sakura, Temari, the Genin from the Sound, Kin, they all blushed at his looks. Welcome to the third part of the Chunin exam, said Naruto. I am Naruto Namikaze, and the wolf next to me is Gekko. I will be the proctor for the third exam, but first, we're in need of a preliminary round. Genin started to mumble between himself the absurdity of more fights. Shikamaru was the first to speak. Why do we need a preliminary round in the first place? None of us are in any condition to be fighting. As it stands, said Naruto, there's 18 Genins here. Third exam is a one-on-one. Nobles from the elemental nation all around are going to be there to watch. Should all of you participate, it will take too long for the exam to end, and it might even take more than 1 day for the entire tournament. Needless to say, people would be incredibly bored. You being incapable of fighting, that is not my concern. Shikamaru grumbled his usual troublesome as Naruto proceeded. As I said, we will now proceed with some preliminary matches to reduce the numbers. The electronic board behind me will produce the names of who will fight against who. Also, remember as proctor, my word is final. If anyone violates my orders, he or she will be disqualified immediately. Besides that, anything's allowed. One other thing, if I see that the opponent is incapable of fighting, I have the right to intervene and stop the fight. Now before that, is there anyone that wished to withdraw? A silver-haired man raised his hand. His name was Kabuto as he wished to withdraw. As Naruto nodded, it was no secret that Kabuto had an incredible history with the Chunin exams. This was his 8th time taking part in the exam. Surely it was suspicious, but there wasn't any evidence that he was playing for the other team. With that taken care of, the board started to go through names before coming to a stop. Moments later, the both of them were standing in the ring with the proctor. It was none other than Sasuke Uchiha and Kiba Inazaka. Kiba smiled as he finally believed that he would teach Sasuke a lesson in humility, and Sasuke simply smirked as his fight would be easy to take him to the final phase. But as he stood there though, the mark on his neck started to glow red as he bit his lip in pain. Sasuke remembered his brother and his sensei performing a strange ritual to stop the seal's effects on him. However, it was their fear that he wouldn't be able to control the seal, becoming a victim of Orochimaru's seal. Itachi wanted nothing more than to rid his brother of the seal, but he didn't know how. Even if he did, he needed Sasuke to cooperate with others, and cooperation was not in Sasuke's vocabulary. But for now, he alone to have the seal. But he warned him to keep it under check. Itachi was a ninja of Konoha, and if Sasuke did anything over the line, he will have no choice. It was cruel to say that, but yet, it was effective as Sasuke control over the seal doubled. Uncle Midarashi managed to grow strong without the seal, and if she could do it, then it should be a walk in the park for him, Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke was selfish and arrogant, but he wasn't foolish enough to go against his brother when he was serious. As Naruto raised his hand, as he signaled for the fight to begin, both Kiba and Sasuke blurred away, as they started to clash as they exchanged punches and kicks with each other. Kiba with his canine traits had the upper hand in strength, but Sasuke was faster in taijutsu. Hence, as Sasuke slammed his fist right in Kiba's face, throwing the doll boy back who flipped and landed on all fours. Kiba wiped his lip as his canines and his fingernails elongated as he shot forward on all fours like a puppy. Sasuke saw him approaching fast, but Sasuke did not need his Sharingan to predict Kiba movements. But Sasuke then ducked as he heard the small growl behind him. He kicked away the small puppy as it flew towards Kiba, who caught him. Kiba growled towards Sasuke for hurting Akamaru. Kiba threw 4 shurikens and launched 3 up in the air that came down towards Sasuke. Sasuke evaded them all, but Kiba jumped right into his mid-guard and sliced. Sasuke moved back, but his shirt got torn as Sasuke looked down as he cursed. Long fingernails had gotten to him as he saw 3 slashes across his chest, going down towards his stomach area. Sasuke's Sharingan sprang to life as he went through hand signs as he gathered chakra in his lungs. Fire style, great fireball jutsu. Kiba and Akamaru leaped up in the air, dodging the fireball. As Kiba flicked the red pill in the air, Akamaru bite down on it. As his fur started to change and he started to grow. As Akamaru landed right on Kiba's back. Man Beast clone jutsu. As Akamaru turned to a perfect copy of Kiba. Fang over Fang! Both of them spin furious as they came towards Sasuke to cause him immense damage. Sasuke saw the 2 spinning drills coming at him as he realized the weakness behind this technique. Because of the movement of his Sharingan, he could see the movements, the slowness of their technique. As he could see their hands and feet spinning. Sasuke smirked as he jumped back, going through a large series of hand signs. Lightning release, multiple thunderbolt jutsu. Sasuke waited until they were close enough as he fired off the lightning bolt that slammed into the drill. Thousands of lightning bolts coursed through their bodies, shocking the both of them in mid-air. Akamaru was unconscious instantly, and Kiba dropped to the ground, his body shaking and spasming. As Kiba tried to move, well, he wasn't trying to, his body was just spasming because of electricity. Sasuke thought that he was down as he pulled a kunai and shot forward, only for his hand to be grabbed. Kiba Inuzaka is no longer able to fight, said Naruto. Winner, Sasuke Uchiha. Hakuo made a team came and take care of Kiba and his dog. As Naruto released Sasuke's hand, he had a rather smug look on his face. After all, he didn't have to go so hard to win that battle. The Inuzaka was nothing to him. The next fight was Ino versus Kin. As Sasuke made his way up, he saw the stern look on Kakashi's face. What, he didn't do anything wrong? Well, Kakashi always tried to drill the word teamwork in their mind. And Kiba was a Konoha ninja. The fight down below didn't really last too long, as Kin fired off 3 kunais that impaled Ino until her body poofed away, as it was replaced by a log. As she then heard the name of a jutsu being called, Water Release, Snakehead Jutsu, as a massive water serpent Ino released. The serpent slammed into Kin. As she was close to the wall, her head hit the wall as she fell unconscious. Ino smiled triumphantly as the board went through name once again. Sai versus Temari. As Naruto began the match, Sai didn't want to waste any time as he pulled out his scroll as he drew some 8 irons. Creatures escaped from the scroll and dashed towards Temari. She opened her fan as she released a massive whirlwind that blew away all the ink irons, tearing them apart. As Sai was dashing towards her, she opened her fan. Wind release. Cutting wind side jutsu, she said. Sai got caught up in a gigantic tornado as he got severe nasty cuts inside. Temari was confident that Sai was done for, and if he did not drop out of that unconscious, she would just end it once it was over. But his body then turned into a black substance, ink. As Temari looked around and she felt something hit her, she was confused. She then turned towards her arm. She saw something poking out of it. What the hell? She saw Sai walking with that strange smile on his face as she fell down, as she went into blissful unconsciousness, as it was a dart that Sai hit her with. As the fights were progressing, Minato was very confident in his genuine display of skill so far. He was certain that they would grow to be respective legends like their mothers and fathers, though in Sasuke's case, he wished that he would follow his mother's footsteps instead than his father, Fugaku. Looking at his son also made him smile as Naruto's authority was being respected without questions from the genuines. As Naruto Wolf Gekko could detect genjutsu from a mile away, as the wolf was very skilled in that department. As Naruto had a look on his face as Minato noticed it. As he glanced up to where Naruto's eye was glancing, the Jonin from the sound was looking down. Upon first appearances, the man was pretty much normal. Long black hair tied up in a ponytail, pale, almost white skin, and wearing only black clothes. As Minato narrowed his eyes, the man kind of resembled Orochimaru. As he looked towards Naruto, who was looking up with Gekko. This was Orochimaru. Clearly, he liked to play games, saying that he was here the entire time, without anyone noticing. And if Minato reacted right now, there was a chance that the snake had a backup plan to escape. For now, Minato would live with the knowledge that Orochimaru could hide his chakra and use advanced transformations. Looking back at his son, he signaled his son to proceed the fights. As Naruto nodded, the next match was Shikamaru versus Sakura. Shikamaru sighed hard, as he had to fight once more after spending 5 days in the hellish forest. Not to mention, why did he have to fight a girl? Of all things. He didn't feel any way about the opposite gender, but why did he have to fight a girl? As he didn't feel good beating up on girls, that was just troublesome. He didn't have time to ponder though, as Ino pushed him over the balcony as he fell onto the floor. He glared up at the troublesome moment as he picked himself up and dusted himself off. As he walked straight over towards Sakura and Naruto waiting for him. As Naruto looked at his lazy friend, as the two of them positioned themselves in front of each other. Naruto told him to begin. Sakura did not waste time. She charged Shikamaru with simple hand signs for clone jutsu. She knew that Shikamaru was smart, probably the smartest of all of them. But she was going to try to trick him. As the two Sakuras came towards him, they tried to attack him with their fists. They passed right by him like he didn't exist. His hand came up and blocked the real Sakura fist. How did you know? Sakura said. Shikamaru sighed. What a drag. Out of the three, only you have a shadow. And that's my main thing, he said. Sakura jumped back as she landed. As she was about to... What the hell? Her body was not listening to her. She tried to move, but she could not. Looking down, she realized why. As Shikamaru spoke once more. Another thing you should know, never get too close to a Nara. We can control your shadow and bind you. As Shikamaru pulled out a kunai, as he looked towards Naruto, as Sakura also pulled her own kunai. Unable to do anything, kunai rests right at her throat. Naruto came down and ended the match, as she had no chance of escaping. If she was the enemy, she'd already be dead by now. The next match was Gaara versus Yori, one of Kabuto's teammates, as Yori made his way down there. As Naruto felt it, the chakra leaking from Gaara. Soon as Naruto began the match, Yori shot forward the kunai, but sand exploded upwards as it blocked Yori from getting too close to him. Gaara's face was emotionless as he looked towards the man. Minato narrowed his eyes as he felt something, as he had no idea that this Gaara was a Jinchuriki. As Gaara bloodlust and the demon bloodlust could be felt. As Minato felt it, so did Gekko and Naruto as he was close enough. Gaara's sand expanded as Yori tried to back away, but the sand was just so much and overwhelming. As Naruto watched the sand went over Yori, who was fighting back. As Yori pulled the kunai, but the sand grabbed his arm. Naruto was about to step in, but the sand squeezed. As Yori's body was packed down into the sand, as cries of pain could be heard. As the man was crushed under the sand. It was a gruesome scene as a couple of the Kunoichis closed their eyes in fear at what they just witnessed. As Naruto watched the entire thing, as he was unable to stop it, as he never expected the sand to react so quickly. As Gaara had a bloodthirsty grin on his face. Granted, killing was allowed in exams, but the way Gaara did it, and the way he smiled because he enjoyed it. The fight continued on, as another Sand Genin engaged the last member of Kabuto's teammate, as Kankuro crushed Mitsumi with his puppet. Koji then went up against one of the Sound Ninjas. The fight ended as soon as it began. Koji tried to run over Dosu, but he wasn't in the match for Dosu, who ended the match rather quickly. Simply placed his arm against Choji, close enough for the Sound Waves to knock Choji out completely. The next match was Shino versus Hinata, as Naruto gave them the go-ahead to begin, as Hinata dropped down into her Jayugen stance, as she was ready to give her all. Shino remained where he was, with his hands in his pockets, but he was up to something. Hinata then vanished out of sight. She was in front of Shino instantly, much to Shino's shocked expression at her speed, what seemed to have quickly increased a lot. Hinata landed a powerful strike right towards his main point, right across his stomach, and it was over. She shut his points right there. Before her eye twitched as she blocked the strike that came from her back, as her Byakugan was activated, as the Shino in front of her dissolved into bugs. As Shino jumped back immediately, as he knew being close to her wasn't a good idea. Shino then started to go through hand signs, as Naruto was a bit surprised because he knew those hand signs quite well. Wind release. Gale wind palm technique, he said. Hinata saw the burst of wind coming right towards her. As she dodged aside, Shino bugs came at her, but with her precise movement, she was able to knock them right out of the air. As soon as she started to approach Shino, who was moving back, she went through hand signs as he was trying to get away from her. Water release. Water vortex jutsu. Suddenly, Hinata started to spin like the rotation, but there was water around her. Her body spun at abnormal speed as the water ball that she was in kept on moving. Shino leaped up in the air, but Hinata threw kunais right out of her water ball. Shino quickly summoned some bugs that protected him from the projectiles as he fell on the hard floor. As a water blast came out, he launched himself to the side, dodging it. But he landed right inside of Hinata's guard, who lowered herself into her stance even more. "You're in my field of divination, Shino," she said as she shot forward, as she was already at his side. As Hinata started striking, but by the 16th strike, she noticed something as his body started to break apart into bugs. Bugs swarm around her, but something was different about it. A thick fog started to surround her, as her body felt weakened, like she wanted to sleep right there and then. As Naruto moved forward and stopped her from hitting her head on the ground. As it was an interesting match, Hinata got caught up in the genjutsu, with the bugs distracting her, as they kept on slapping her chakra as they moved around her. Points for Shino there. Shino Aberami. As Naruto called for the end of the matches, as all of the fights came to a close, as all of them came down. To those who made it towards the main Chunin exam third part, congratulations are in order, as Minato eyed each of the genins in front of him. 5 genins from Konoha, 2 from the San, and 2 from the Sound Hidden Village. Your main match fights will be shown in front of everyone. We wish for all of you to show off your abilities as your country representative main power. Therefore, the main matches will begin in 1 month time. As Minato explained, the 1 month time is to prepare for the upcoming matches. Time is needed to get everything ready for the last, final part of Chunin exams. Now all of you will come forward and pick a number from this box. As Naruto was holding onto the box, everyone came forward and picked a number. As the last person to pick the number spoke, it was Sasuke, 3. Shino got 4. Troublesome, 8 said Shikamaru. 5 said Ino. 2 said Gaara. 6 said Kankuro. 1 said Sai. 7 said Dosu. As Naruto wrote down something on a piece of paper, as all of the genins waited and waited. "Now," said Naruto as he looked up, as Hokage-sama explained the number. "Determine your battle on this position chart for the tournament." As Sai cursed his bad luck, his suspicion was true. So he'll be facing Gaara. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. His opponent was the Aberami. Shikamaru was content that he wouldn't face a woman, although Dosu was a tough shinobi. Seeing that his job was over now, Naruto told him to meet him at the arena in 1 month time. After that, everyone made their way off to get their training done. Time skip. A week later, it was currently nighttime in Konoha. Everyone has been training themselves hard over the past week to improve their skills. In the darkness of Konoha, 3 presents found a place where they could hide from the Konoha scouts and the Onfus. The final matches are only 3 weeks away. The plan was in its final stages, so it appears that Konoha is already wary of a possible invasion, Baki said, as a man beside him with glasses pushed up the glasses. Indeed, the 4 Hokage is tight in the village security, but whether Konoha know about the war or not, it's unclear to us. For all we know, the man is just increasing security for the noble arrivals. I hear some daimyos attending the exam. The 3rd shadow appeared, as the hidden stone headband glistened in the moonlight. His size was double that of Kabuto, and his muscles were a proof of the hidden stone strength. He had brown eyes and black hair. A minor scar was on his left cheek. Granted that Konoha managed to capture some of my ninjas, it's wrong to underestimate their efforts of protection. It's wise to remember that Konoha survived through the 2 last great wars unscathed. Compared to the hidden stone, Uaizo was this man's name. Neither Baki or Kabuto liked him because his constant talking of berating the planning was getting on their nerves. The man just seemed like he wanted to crush Konoha, not thinking about the backup possibilities. Yes, that was rather stupid of him. They heard movements as Kabuto narrowed his eyes, as all of them vanished. As Zabuza came out as he made his way through the foliage, looking around as he scouted the perimeters, not seeing anyone. Time skip. It was now the exam finals, as the stadium was packed. The very promising Sasuke Uchiha would be participating in the exams. The Yamanaka and Nara clan here as well. And 2 of the Kazekage's son will be taking part in the exam as well. Everyone was ready to witness the great battles. But to those who were aware of the possibility of an invasion, every second that passed was like torture. To many of the shinobis disguised as audience member, the feeling of dread only intensified. To face off against 3 villages at once. But the elites of the elites were there as well, where the numbers would not cover it. The Konoha, quality over quantity will. Minato was there in the Kage box, as Jiraiya was there as well. The genin was already there, as Naruto was in the middle of the arena. Naruto head turned as he saw the Kazekage arrive with 2 of his Sanjonins. Greetings, Hokage-dono, Jiraiya of the Sanins. It's a pleasure. Both Minato and Jiraiya were possibly aware of Orochimaru, impersonating someone with great influence, and given the fact that neither of them would question someone like the Kazekage, it was a perfect cover. Orochimaru would not underestimate anyone either. He was a son and he knew the power scale here, so if he did something stupid, he he might just end up dying before his invasion started. Greeting, Kazekage Dono. Thank you for coming. I trust the trip here wasn't too taxing on your part. Not at all. It's I who appreciate the invitation. Certainly the Uchiha would be quite a show against my Gaara. Uchiha Sasuke is extremely gifted, but he has yet to win his first round against Aberame Shino. Indeed, these exams will prove quite entertaining, Kazekage Dono. Net Jonin materialized behind Jiraiya as he whispers something in his ear, as Jiraiya told Minato that the stadium was already filled, and he could give the speech, as the Kazekage had a smile under his veil. A smile that he was filled with enough malice that would burn Konoha down to the ground. Indeed, the exam will be quite entertaining, but neither you or Konoha will live to see the end of it, Minato thought Orochimaru to himself. Meanwhile, with the daimyos, I bet everything on the Uchiha to win, said the daimyo of the grass as he turned towards his two ninja guards and made them make a bet. Others placed their bet on Sasuke as well, as the boy was considered easy money than the other competitions. Besides Sasuke, only Gaara, the Kazekage's son, had a betting crowd. Based on his current record, he's been through some tough missions already, and he returned without a single scratch on him. In the center of the arena, Naruto Namikaze was waiting. Next to him was Gekao, who was sitting down, looking at the crowd around them, as Naruto's eyes were looking at the audience while spotting the hidden envoys amongst the crowd. Minato's best guess was, if an attack was to happen, it would be right here where the daimyo was, along with their dignitaries. That is why behind every daimyo, two envoy members were in disguise. He glanced towards the Kage box as he saw his godfather, along with his father and the Kazekage. His father then got to his feet. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, welcome to the last phase of the Chunin exams. The crowd screamed from their stands as the man waited until the noise died down so that he could continue. These fighters before you show incredible skills so far. Now they will face each other in a battle, one-on-one. As the man continued on with his speech, everyone was at the edge of their seat as they couldn't wait till the exam began. As the man gave the signal to Naruto to begin, as Naruto called in the first two contestants. The first one appeared through a small sandstorm, and the second one appeared through a swirl of ink. Okay, first match of the finals of Chunin exams will be Sai of the Hidden Leaf against Gaara of the Hidden Sand. You two know the rules. There are none. However, I have the power to intervene in any battle. As Naruto looked at both of them, see if they had any questions or anything, but they had none. So he signaled for him to begin. Sai wasted absolutely no time as he went through and draw several ink lines, sending them towards Gaara. The ferocious beasts all charged at Gaara at the same time, but all of them vanished as Gaara Sand came up and crushed them. Sai knew that this was gonna happen as he had memorized every aspect of Gaara's file. As he dashed around the field as he threw barrage of shurikens, trying to confuse Gaara's sand mechanism. One thing was not clear in the file, is if Gaara was in full control of his sand defense, or if it was automatic like a kicking Inkai. All the shuriken were blocked by the sand, but 3 of them got stuck inside. Sai was surprised when a sudden sand replica came out and grabbed the shuriken and tossed them back towards him. He had to pull his ninjato as he deflected them all. While defending himself against shurikens, the clone came out and started charging the sand clone. As Sai used nothing but agility to flip in here and land a nasty roundhouse kick in the clone's neck. As he took care of it, as he focused, struck into his legs. Sai was no ordinary genin. As he moved, his speed surprised the crowd. Sand came up to lash out at Sai, but he vanished in a burst of speed. As Sai reappeared behind Gaara and landed a nasty fist into his face. Gaara skipped back a bit, but his face just cracked slightly, showing no real damage except for his sand armor cracking. But a bloodthirsty, vicious smile lighted up on his face. His opponent was strong and he would prove his existence by killing him. I'll kill you and prove my existence, said Gaara. As he raised his hand, Desert Coffin. Sand burst out from the ground and grabbed onto Sai's legs. Gaara laughed madly as the sand started to climb up on Sai fast. Now die, Gaara said. Desert Funeral. As Sai was crushed within a sand ball, but instead of blood, ink sprayed out of it. The moment the ink touched the ground, it turned into snakes as they shot forward. They wrapped around Gaara tightly. As Gaara's armor started to crack, he quickly performed a substitution. As he reappeared, looking around the arena for his opponent, Sai was hidden behind a few trees to the west of the arena. So far, Gaara proved to be invincible with that arsenal of his, and he knew that winning this match was close to 0. Surely, Danzo wouldn't mind what he was about to do. As Sai stepped from the trees, he raised his hand Proctor, I give up, he said. As Naruto nodded, as Gar had a conflicted look on his face. Winner of the first round, Gar of the Sand, said Naruto. The crowd clapped. Despite everything, that was a good display of skills. You two go back to the... Naruto was cut off as a Sand shot towards Sai. Sai was caught completely off guard as a Sand tried to grab onto him. But in a second, Naruto was there as he waved his hand. Wind chakra slicing right through it. I already gave the victory to you, Jenny. Stand down, or I'll be forced to take action, said Naruto. At first, Gar did not move. He looked at the blonde in front of him with an impassive face. He suddenly grabbed his head in pain as Naruto's finger twitched ready for anything to happen. But nothing happened. The boy just slowly walked back towards the booth. Something was wrong with this kid. One moment he was on the verge of madness. The next moment he just nodded and went back. Now, will Sasuke Uchiha of the Leaf and Shino Abermi of the Leaf approach the arena? Up in the Kage's box, the Kages were impressed with Sai's skills both physically and tactically. But Minato wasn't liking Gar's attitude one bit. Quite explosive your son is, wouldn't you say, Kazekage-dano? The Kazekage gave a simple laugh at Minato's proclamation. My Gar get a bit emotional when facing such a strong opponent. Don't worry though, Hokage-dano, it won't happen again. Now I'm more eager to see what Uchiha Sasuke can do against the Abermi. Meanwhile, the match had been started, as neither one of them moved yet. Sasuke narrowed his eyes as he was going to make the first move, it seems, as he rushed through hand signs. Shino released his bug as Sasuke finished his hand sign. Fire style. Fireball jutsu, he said. The bug simply circled around the giant fireball and attacked Sasuke once again, forced him to leap back from his usual position. He evaded the bugs with nothing but pure raw speed. He appeared behind Shino and released a nasty left hook, but Shino blocked it. Knowing that Sasuke would be his opponent and he was good in taijutsu, Shino decided to focus a bit on taijutsu as well. Shino brought on his other arm and aimed a strong punch towards Sasuke's jaw. The attack only met ear though, as Sasuke was already on the ground as he lowered himself completely, sending a vicious kick towards Shino's leg as he knocked away Shino's feet. As Shino was drifting to the side, Sasuke landed a vicious kick into his chest, launching him backwards. Wasting no time at all, Sasuke went through a series of hand signs. He fired smaller fireballs towards his opponent. At first, the fireballs connected, causing Sasuke to smile a bit. But Shino transformed into a swarm of bugs. Sasuke activated Sharingan as he was able to follow the trail of Shino's chakra. But the moment he found Shino, Shino was already finishing the hand sign. Wind style. Great wind breakthrough. Sasuke was blown off his feet, sent sailing through the air by the technique, as Shino appeared beside him as he was about to deliver a strong punch to his chest. But Sasuke brought his leg up and blocked the punch before delivering a nasty kick with his other feet towards Shino's shoulder, dropping Shino down towards the ground. The moment Sasuke landed, he cursed as he got some cuts over his body from that wind jutsu. He then felt strange. Looking down, he saw there was bugs attached to him. He had to quickly use the substitution technique to take it away as he was siphoning off his chakra. Sasuke picked himself back up as he charged towards Shino. He came in vicious. He headed straight towards Shino as their attacks collided, fist after fist. But despite Shino's training with taijutsu, Sasuke was just still above him in that art. Sasuke anticipated every one of Shino's moves as he countered them with some solid hits. Shino's last effort was to use a kunai, but Sasuke blocked it as he delivered a right hook right towards Shino. It knocked Shino out cold as he slammed into the wall. Abermi Shino's incapacitated. Winner, Sasuke Uchiha. The crowd erupted in screams and cheers as everyone could hear soccer from in the crowd. As the rookies all sighed, the girl was really loud. As everything was dealt with, Naruto called Ino Yamanaka from the Leaf and Kankuro from the Sand. Everyone was expecting a good fight like the others. Proctor, I forfeit, said Kankuro, surprising the crowd. Ino paused as she looked at him, confused. Naruto nodded the forfeit, as it was rather strange, but he had to go on. The final match before the semifinals. Will Shikamaru Nara and Dosu of the Sound please come down to the arena? It took Shikamaru a long time to reach the center of the arena. He was probably the smartest genin out of all of them, but he was just so goddamn lazy. He looked towards Dosu. He looked rather bored, but he was analyzing Dosu every move that he saw so far and just watching the boy. There wasn't a lot to go on, seeing that he took care of Choji so quickly and that gauntlet on his arm. As Naruto gave the signal to begin, Dosu wasted no time. Soundwave technique, he said. Shikamaru could not see the attack, but he trusts his instincts on survival. As he leaped away to the side, he threw shurikens and kunais towards Dosu. Dosu used the gauntlet to block the ones that were close enough to him, as the others flew past. Shikamaru then engaged him with plain taijutsu. That was strange, seeing that Nara was the one for a close combat. Aim a kick towards Dosu's sternum. But Dosu simply grabbed his leg with a smirk. Say goodbye to this leg of yours as he raised his gauntlet arm. Just as he was about to take Shikamaru's leg off, his body went stiff all of a sudden. Shadow imitation technique. Success, Shikamaru said. Dosu looked down as he cursed as their shadows were linked. It took me a while to understand your skills. You fought Choji so quickly at the preliminaries. I couldn't see much. But that last attack of yours made it a bit more clear for me. By focusing chakra through it, it can release sound waves, almost invisible to the human eye. If that attack had hit me, I'd probably be deaf right now. Very clever, Konoha Genin. But still, you have not won yet from what I know about your clan. After binding your opponent, your moves would be mirrored. How exactly can you defeat me when I'm holding your leg right now? Shikamaru simply smiled. As that confused Dosu, Shikamaru went through hand sign as Dosu did the same. You should have read more about my family before making a bold claim that all we can do is bind shadows. We can control them as well. Shadow neck bind technique. Dosu was frightened as a black arm of shadow started to crawl around his body, reaching up to his neck. As the shadow went up, Dosu could not stop it as the thing snapped his neck, killing him. Some members of the audience gasped, including his teammate Ino and Choji. At Shikamaru, the least one of them, actually taking it that far. As Naruto came over and placed a finger towards Dosu's neck, as he felt no pulse. Shikamaru Nara, winner, said Naruto. As they will take a 20 minutes break now, so that they could be ready for the next qualification. As Shikamaru stood there, as he thought Naruto was disappointed in him. Naruto-senpai, he said. You don't need to explain your reasons, Shikamaru, said Naruto. At least not to me. Take a break and conserve your chakra for the next round. I have a feeling that you're gonna need all drop of it. As Shikamaru nodded as he made his way, he knew about the shinobi world, and killing practically came with the package. But it was one thing to say that you're gonna do it, and actually do it. As he went to get some water to cool off. As he arrived though, he saw smoke, as his sensei Osmo was leaning up against the wall smoking. Come on Shikamaru, let's get a bottle of water for you. And you can tell me everything, Osmo said. The man placed a comforting hand on Shikamaru's shoulder. Time skip. 20 minutes later, after the break, Naruto approached the arena at center and announced the beginning of the semifinals. Now, for the first fight of the semifinals, will Sasuke Uchiha and Gaara of the Sand approach the arena? It didn't take long. As they arrived, Gaara had this vicious snarling on his face. He was really pissed that he did not get to kill Sai. So right now he was going to take that out on Sasuke, as the smile was wicked, ear from ear stretching. Sasuke activated Sharingan before the match even started. This wasn't going to be like others and he knew it, as Naruto gave them the go ahead. Sasuke moved with incredible speed, trying to land a few hits, but the Sand blocked every single strike. But Sasuke simply upped his speed, surprising Gaara. The blows were increasing in speed and Sand was having trouble blocking them all. Sasuke broke through the Sand as he smashed a powerful punch that launched Gaara backwards. Sasuke then flashed through a series of hand signs. Fire style, dragon fire, cannonball jutsu, he said. Gaara brought up a massive wall of sand that was struck by the roaring fire cannon technique. A few parts of the sand turned to glass from the heat that came from Sasuke's technique. Sasuke wasted no time after the wall fell. Lightning release, thunderbolt technique, he said. As Sasuke answered the attack with lightning as he threw the thunderbolt technique right at Gaara. As Gaara's sand came up and blocked it, but the sand wasn't powerful enough to take the full brunt as the lightning tore right through it. Gaara pulled himself away as he surrounded himself in a sand cocoon, as an eye was created above his head. Meanwhile, outside the walls, Anbu personnel was outside scouring the entire place. So far though, nothing out of the usual happened. Zabuza was the one in charge of leading the operation. He didn't even know why the Hokage gave him this position. A few years ago, he wasn't even a Konoha ninja, and now he was in charge of leading 3 Anbu squads. Zabuza Teiko, Anbu said, as he materialized behind Zabuza. Let me guess, not a single enemy spotted. As the Anbu nodded. Taki, take your team and scout near the gates. Our walls are strong but the gate is vulnerable. But a few miles west of their position, an entire battalion of sand, stone, and stone ninjas were hidden. They were only waiting for the signal to go off. Soon as they received the signal, 4 groups of stone ninjas would summon gigantic catapults to to launch massive rocks towards Konoha. Inside those rocks were battalion upon battalion of ninjas ready to invade. The moment the rocks landed in the village and broke, the ninjas would swarm out of it, and Konoha would have no idea at all what hit them. Yes, the invasion was ready, all the plans were set up, and the ninjas were here. Many of them were still vengeful from the last attack, to when Minato massacred thousands of them. So all of them here want to see his head on a stick, while the rest of them just want to see Konoha fall for their leaders, the Sand for their Kazekage, and the Sound for their Lord Orochimaru. But what all of them did not know was, Orochimaru was just playing them all. Orochimaru didn't give one crap about Oniki and his forces, and he also did not care about the Sand either. He just wanted to use this towards his advantage. Perhaps if he comes up to it, Orochimaru will simply kill them as well. After all, he simply didn't care about either of them. But for now, he will simply stay quiet and wait, as everything was going straight according to plan. And it was about time that the signal was given, as Gaara was being pushed back by Sasuke, as he was stuck in his cocoon. Sasuke decided not to hold anything back, because he knew how dangerous this guy was. As everything was about to turn to hell though. Yes, really bad. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see this person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And yes guys, if you're new, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So how about you guys go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. Remember to stay tuned for the rest of what is coming over on Anime King and Anime King 3, which I hope you guys enjoy. So yeah, let's get straight into that. I'm out for now on this channel. See you guys.